When you close your eyes and imagine yourself as the songwriter, composer, or musician that you want to be, you're likely seeing all successes and all masterpieces. But that's not the reality. For every hit song or masterpiece, there's likely dozens, maybe even 100 songs that don't make the cut. In order to get anywhere near the kind of success that we want, we have to write those songs. We have to write the music that doesn't cut it. We have to write bad music. Okay, let's be clear. I'm not actually telling you to go and actively write bad music. That's not why we write. We want our music to sound good. What I am saying is to be aware of your context, to be aware of what it takes to actually make your goals a reality. So instead of agonizing to make every project the epitome of your vision for it, to make everything as perfect as possible, just let it be okay. Good enough. Or even what we might fear in our head is actually bad. Here's why. It resets our goals and expectations. How we expect our music to go can actually do more harm than good when it comes to the end result. Expecting ourselves to write amazing music puts pressure on us. This isn't good pressure either. It's not the kind that motivates you or makes you better. It's far more negative and often takes the form of harmful, if not violent thoughts, especially if you're me. Especially if you're me. Save me from myself. By taking this energy and putting it into more productive outlets for our craft, you'll ironically get where you want to be quality-wise without even really trying. The first reason why this works is because we're taking power away from a source of negativity. Ba-ba-da-boop. With less negativity, we can think more about what our music does or doesn't need, what is or isn't missing. So where should we actually be putting our energy? First, you want to create a clear sense of logic or a narrative for your music. This is just a fancy way of saying to make sure your music makes sense according to its own context, according to its own rules that it sets out for itself. The next thing you want to focus on is actually accomplishing the initial task for this project. Are you meeting the requirements that you set out to fulfill? Whether these parameters are self-imposed or they're being imposed by someone else, be shrewd here and kill your darlings. Finally, I want you to put maybe most of your energy into this last one, finishing your music. If we're stuck worrying about whether or not something's good enough, we're likely going to stop working on it. We're never going to finish it, and that's how all of us have hard drives full of unfinished songs. This is perfectionism at work, and it's the death of productivity. No more of that. We are going to put our energy towards actually finishing. It's so much more important for you as an artist to understand when something is good enough, when it's time to move on. This helps us to allow for more emotional space. When we put less emphasis on quality, something that's subjective and something that ultimately the rest of the world decides for us, we free up emotional space and lessen anxiety. To be clear, there is objective quality, objective goodness in music, but that's not usually what we're thinking of. You can have perfectly good, if not great music, not be popular, so keep an eye on that. Less anxiety and more emotional space is crazy good for our creative energy. It's far easier to be creative when we're under less pressure. In fact, you may even find yourself having fun again. If writing hasn't been fun for you, this is going to help you bring that back. And that's likely why most of us started writing in the first place, because we thought writing was fun. We're effectively recentering our prerogative for writing from others back to us, from what excites others to what excites us. This is where my laughter rule comes from. This is where it was born out of. If something makes me laugh out loud, I try super hard to keep it, to have it make sense in some way. It's a great way to gauge earnest enjoyment from the process of and engagement with the music I'm writing. I want to help enshrine that. That's so important. I think that intention comes through. When there's more emotional space, you'll also feel more confident in taking risks and experimenting. We're less likely to push the envelope when we're worried about what other people are going to like. And not pushing the envelope means, well, not pushing ourselves, not pushing our ear, not pushing our craft, not pushing our music. It's ironic, but the less emotion that you invest in the end product, the less we identify with the results of the music, the more we allow our creative voice to be heard with greater purity. And in that light, it refocuses us on what counts. It's easy to get stuck in the hustle for whatever version of success you have, but when we do, we miss the point. It can get so bad that we forget to build and feed the very craft that we're using to build that success. Worse, and yes, this is worse, say your dream comes true. You get that success, you get that big break. But if it comes too early, you might not be skilled enough or mature enough or have enough business savvy to leverage that success and turn it into a sustainable living and a sustainable career. Sometimes our wishes do come true and we have to be prepared for when they do. When we take a bigger picture towards our music, towards ourselves as an artist, we start thinking about how to challenge ourselves more instead of thinking and hoping that our next release was going to go viral or how to make that happen. Yes, it's important to reach your goals, but that big success will never look like it does when we think about it beforehand, when we fantasize about it. Keyword, it's a fantasy, because we're only imagining the end result. We're only imagining the good times. We're not taking into account what it actually takes to get there and stay there. We have to be the best at our craft that we can be, and we have to do that earnestly so that we can make the music that will lead to that success. And this is before all the other skills that we need to make it as well, like production, like marketing and networking. So what do? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Just keep writing as much music as you can. Make a routine for yourself and stick with it. This is a priority for you, right? Things that we prioritize make it in our calendar. So put it in your calendar and go write some music. Then go write some more, and then go write some more after that. And then keep writing more. And keep doing that basically for the rest of your life. And if that doesn't sound like a good time for you, it might be time to reconsider what you're doing for a living or what you're doing with your time. That is how you build objective quality in the craft of writing music. And when your music sounds objectively good, it becomes all the easier to make music that other people think sounds good. All right, let's do some review. It's important to take a step back, to worry less about quality, worry less about how our music sounds, what the end result of our music is going to be, so that we can focus on our craft as a whole. This resets our expectations and our goals. When we have the right goals, we're often giving less energy to negative thoughts and patterns that hold us back. In turn, that leads to more emotional space from our music, more space from the end result, and more space from identifying with what people think of it. That will refocus us on what actually counts in our craft. Writing the music, putting in the work, committing to the craft. When you take a bigger picture, it's easier to know when something is good enough so that we can move on and keep growing as an artist. If you want to dive deep into your own inner workings as an artist, come book a free discovery call for my coaching program, Musical Wellness. There, I will help guide you through this exact transformation that we talked about today. Head to justwritemusic.com/learn to schedule your free 30-minute discovery call. There's a link down in the doobly-doo. Thanks so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I'm Avi, and don't forget to be awesome.